Hi Libra, thank you for joining me. I hope you guys are well. I have a Libra season video today. Right off the bat, happy birthday. I hope you guys all have a beautiful month, beautiful season. What I'm doing today, I'm going to do this reading with 4 cards that I will pull from my Rider Waite and a card from the Romance Angels by Doreen Virtue. You guys are of Venus. I thought romance, why not, right? So, Libra, cardinal air energy, creating, beginnings, new starts, start and stop almost. So it can be quite conflicting, I think, especially for Libra that is always seeking balance. There's always got to be that perfect balance. And I think trying to attain that perfect balance can sometimes be quite daunting. And it's important, I think, this month to keep a few things in mind, and one of them is to really take a methodical approach to completing tasks. It's quite important that, yes, we start, and I think that this month is really going to ask you to not weigh out the pros and cons of things quite so much anymore. I think the run up to your birthday and your previous solar return, you've got to think about what you can take from last year, what you can take from the run up to this birthday, and use it as an example to streamline the process of coming to conclusions or making decisions. It's really about recycling, I think, information at this point, and with that, I think it puts you in a better position to take some calculated risks. And I think this season is going to ask you to do that with your ruling planet in Scorpio, which is not very much a sit down and consider it, or more of a self-reflective, but actually get on with stuff. It's going to mean you don't really have the time to weigh out those pros and cons. And, it might feel as if you are forced to make some decisions, but consider them well informed, because sometimes haste does ask us to sort of bring ideas alive. It is with that haste, it's with that forward movement, and I think you will just suddenly feel like you just want to get on with stuff. Things need to get done, and you need to get organized, and the best way to do that is to just plunge into them and get on with it. And we're talking about the start and stop energy, right? I have spent the last 2 hours trying to get this video done, but it was so funny because I was getting caught up in finicky details, and I think we've got to be really careful not to do that this Libra season. There's a few things that you guys are going to have to really push forward with, and I think work, relationships, health, and family are going to be right at the forefront of those. So, the cards that I have for you guys are the Chariot for the first week. I've got the Star for the second week. I have the Ace of Pentacles for the third week. And I have the Knight of Wands for the last week. Okay, so the Chariot. And I want you guys to take the Chariot as considering your work life, right? There are projects that you are going to have to push forward with, and the key is really not to plateau. It seems as if this is the time for full steam ahead, full movement, throwing all of your trust and all of your time into work, okay? The idea is to expand and grow, but to keep the momentum alive, to keep the speed alive, and to keep moving, okay? To breathe, but keep going. There can't be that start and stop energy that I think sometimes with Libra, it does happen. It, moving, and then things and situations change, and then you have to stop and ponder again. I think this isn't going to be the month where you are really making things happen, but this is applying yourself to the progress, the process of things, and getting them lined up. I think with Mars in Aquarius at the moment as well, this is going to be quite an aggressive energy, and it is going to want to push you forward in terms of work and in directions that you might feel like are new and are innovative. There might be a real focus on team work and being a team player and getting your team together. I think it's always a good idea with such a forward, fast-moving energy to maintain that organization, maintain that methodical approach to tasks, and really just try and focus on getting things done without having to ponder over them too much. For the second week, we have the star, and I want you to consider this perhaps as a reminder of getting your life back on track. On the 9th, we have the new moon, in Libra. And I think this is going to be a fantastic time for you guys to find work-life balance. Catch up with yourself, I want to say, Libra. Do a little bit of self-love and making time for what is important. I think you need to focus a little bit on the alchemy of your body. So try and maybe start a new health regime, start drinking more water, and really try and emphasize the idea of having not so much of a diluted mind. Key to relaxation and really getting to a place where you're feeling a lot more balanced. And I always think, we associate the word balance to Libra, and I think majority of Librans are not balanced at all. It is their life purpose, their life mission to attain that balance. So see where you can look into activities that might help you achieve that. Yoga, breathing exercises, Pilates, these sort of things, these real sort of relaxation focused activities that can help you get back to yourself. Stretching is also a really important one too. I think it's going to be quite important for you guys to try and break out of the status quo. I think it's important not to get stuck in a rut, and having just come out of Virgo season, which may have asked you to look at lots of details, it's quite important not to get too finicky with it. Really try and focus on remaining as centered, I want to say, as you possibly can, and moving out of ruts where you might have fallen into. See where it is that you can connect with yourself and your environment, and always remember, like, distress needs a release. Okay, there's got to be a way that you can release your distress, things that are getting you down, bringing you down, because otherwise they do turn into ailments. And the key, I think, this season really is going to be to really find the beauty in life and find where it is that you can release certain things and any sort of pent up frustrations, where you can slow down your life to really get to a place where you can release quite easily. The key, I think, is going to be aiming for the stars, but doing it in a real sort of methodical way, okay? For the third week, I have the Ace of Pentacles, and I think this is going to be quite heavily to do with work, okay? And there is definitely a promise of this month being a very, very lucrative month for you. It may also be that there are lots of responsibilities that you guys have to take on, extra responsibilities in order to cultivate and generate as much profit or as much finances as you can. The Ace of Pentacles also asks you to look at family life also. So see where it is that you can spend time with your family and those that feel like family. And maybe use your birthday as an opportunity to celebrate those people as well as celebrate your solar return. It is going to be definitely quite an important time to reconnect, to just touch base, and finding constants in what has been changing. And I feel like this 2018 really has been a year of lots of changes. And what's quite nice is that you can go back to family and it will feel like it did 20 years ago. So look to see those constants. I think there would have been a lot that has changed for you over this year, and wherever it is that you feel like you may have been living a lie, or you may have been living two lives, or it's a nice idea, I think, to keep up appearances, but not just keep up appearances, but try and find that common ground again. Try and be able to relate to family again. See what it is that you can give. We've got Venus in Scorpio at the moment, and it will be going retrograde on the 6th. And we've got to be really careful with that, because going on from family into relationships, Venus in Scorpio, especially in retrograde, can sometimes fall on obsessions. And I don't think that it is a time for getting lost in things that aren't going to lead you in the direction that you need to be in. And I think it's going to be quite important to use that passionate energy, to use that sexual charge to cultivate intimacy within relationships. If you are just beginning a relationship, it is going to be about creating an environment where you and your sweetheart can take the things that you do independently and merge them together, and incorporate intimacy into your daily life. Like what it is that you could do to make it feel like you're coming home to Venus every day. There is going to be a touch of obsession and highly sexualized energy, but use that to cultivate the love that you crave. And I think that this season is going to be more about cultivating that feeling of love, feeling that you crave of love. There is definitely such a beauty to Libra season. And I think it will be very easy to maybe consider this time as not a time for grand gestures, but more so a time for snuggling and doing those little romantic things, those romantic details with your sweetheart that might really make a feeling of home. Okay, so for the last week, I have the Knight of Wands. Now, I think in regards to work as well, definitely a fantastic opportunity to push through with lots of new projects, lots of innovative ideas. This again is Mars in Aquarius, really pushing us along. We've also got Pluto in Capricorn, making us challenge what it is that we're doing and seeing whether or not it is really the job for us. I want you to consider that work needs to be in a forward, fast-paced, upward incline. Like, you don't have time for plateau. This is again that not a time to stop and ponder, but more a time to move forward with confidence and, keep the momentum alive as much as you can. See where things have changed around you in regards to work situations and your life, and try and celebrate the positive changes to try and invite more of that, invite more positive changes into your life. I think with Mars in Aquarius, it's going to be, especially around the time of your new moon, a time to really see where it is that you can balance out things that may have required your attention for a while. I think Mars is going to have your back for sure. It's definitely quite a fiery energy, but I want you to use this last year to see what it is that you have learned and what it is that you can do to take that energy and use it. Use the knowledge that you have accumulated over the experiences that you may have gained this year, and see where it is that you can incorporate that into work, into family life, into relationships. It seems as if you will be pushing forward with new ideas, and I want you to remind yourselves of the distance that you've come. This guy can cover a lot of space really quickly, and I think this is going to be what Libra season may be about for you this year. Look at the little picture stuff as well. Don't just whiz past stuff and not pay attention to the detail. I think Virgo season would have given us that much. But try not to get obsessed with the details like Virgos. Deliver, I think, as much as you can. And I think that this season really gives you the opportunity to deliver as much as possible. Right, so let's pull a card from the Romance Angels by Doreen Virtue. And just as I was saying before, it is going to be quite important. I had 3 cards fall out there. For you guys to celebrate intimacy as well. Really see where it is in life that you can bring that intimacy that you crave to day-to-day life. And life really does take on the impression of art, I feel, this season. It always does for me. Every Libra season, the season changes, autumn comes around, everything all of a sudden becomes a lot richer in colour. And what we're looking to see, our own appearance, the things that we want to surround ourselves with does have that air of beauty, and it's important for you guys to remember that as much effort that you put in to, okay, 2 came out. As much effort as you put into love right now it'll pay off over the course of the month. Right, so I've got 2 cards that have come up for you, quite self-explanatory. I've got healing family issues, your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. And the other card that came out for you guys is let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. And I think with Libra very much being a air energy, an air element sign, air never stops. It never stops. It keeps going. And this time of year, especially in London, it's like all over the place. We're really windy. It's all sort of blowing around, rushing around, and it is in every direction. And you really can't try and control something when you are in a frame of mind where your all systems go 100 miles in every single direction. So I think, doing those exercises, those breathing exercises, those relaxation exercises, the yoga, the Pilates, the, Reiki or whatever, it'll help you center yourself, and the attainment of that balance will be a lot easier. I think it is very easy to get caught up in control issues when Venus is in Scorpio, and it will feel a little bit like, romance does take a bit of an obsessive air, if you will. But, ultimately you can't control everything in life, and sometimes the beauty of situations is to just let them be and let things fall wherever they need to fall, so that you can begin to appreciate the beauty in spontaneity. It is almost allowing that serendipitous air, that magic of serendipity to take over. And I think it is so much better when we do that. Things are definitely going to have an air of beauty to them this season. And I think according to this is a very lucrative, successful month for you. Journey where possible, movement where possible. I think that there is a move, there is a journey that is definitely anticipated for you this season, and you've got an opportunity to really cultivate some beautiful stuff. Aim for the stars and nothing less, Libra. Looks like the month will be a very prosperous month for you, and opportunities will be in abundance as long as you're not getting stuck, as long as you're remaining as fluid and forward moving as possible. Have a beautiful month, Libras. Enjoy this season and take care. I will catch you again soon.